teen movies are ruling Hollywood, but can tween movies do the same? You're watching Beyond the Trailers review of Ender's Game.
When it's over, what will be left of the boy?
What does it matter if there's nothing left at all?
If you don't try, then we will all be lost.
I'll do everything I can to win this war.
If you succeed,
You will be remembered as a hero. He's abandoning his entire fleet.
he's in command. There's no stopping him now.
In 3, 2, 1,
When Twilight first hit theaters in 2008, despite portraying high school students, the film stars were 16 Taylor Lautner, 18 Kristen Stewart, and 22 Robert Pattinson. Then over in the first Hunger Games, both Jennifer Lawrence and Liam Hemsworth were 22, and Josh Hutcherson 20. But now, as Lionsgate and Summit try to launch a third young adult franchise in addition to Twilight and the Hunger Games, their stars, Asa Butterfield and Haley Steinfeld, are both a very young 16, with little Abigail Breslin actually a year older than them. Sure, everyone romanticizes high school, but how much time does anyone spend thinking about middle school? And while the movie tries to counterbalance that by making it battle middle school and casting older pros like Harrison Ford, Ben Kingsley, and Viola Davis, there's a very good chance that most audiences will not see this as an all-ages sci-fi action pick, but a kiddie movie. And who pays IMAX 3D prices for a kiddie movie? Maybe it's even the kind of movie you wait to rent so you don't have to watch it at all with your kids. Plus, while the studio has tried to enact a don't ask, don't tell policy when it comes to novelist Orson Scott Card's very public homophobia, it still threatens the film, with many planning to boycott Ender's Game on moral grounds. However, the most damning element might be writer-director Gavin Hood, who is drawing from his own experience of being drafted into South Africa's army at the age of 17, but still directed X-Men Origins Wolverine. And while plenty of kids across the globe do find themselves in the middle of a war zone, not so much in movie-going countries. Will parents even let their kids see this kiddie movie on their own? And if not, is Ender's Game really taboo enough to make those same kids attempt a clandestine viewing? A tween version of Apocalypse Now. Where's that movie? I have a lot of respect for Ender's Game intellectually, but emotionally, I just never connected to it. And I'm not sure if that's because Ender himself was so removed from battle and his own emotions, or because they just didn't have the time in a movie, the length of a film, to explore all the ideas that were crammed into Orson Scott Card's original novel. And I suspect it's the latter. I think that this is a prime example of why it doesn't work when you adapt novels to film, because it's just like trying to take a whole season of a television show. The same thing happened with The Last Airbender. You have just so much going on, and when you try and condense it, it just doesn't work. This is nowhere near a disaster on the level of The Last Airbender. I think on some levels, Ender's Game does succeed. And it's a well-made film. Everybody here who's involved does a very good job. They just simply don't have enough time. It's almost like a middle school presentation of some very sophisticated ideas, which piqued my interest. This is also, I would say, the first time that I've ever seen a movie based on a book and thought to myself, maybe I should read that book, because I really did like a lot of what Ender's Game had to say. And it also made me think, because I was like, why do I like Star Wars and not this? They're similar type films. And I thought to myself, well, you know what? Well, Star Wars might not have as sophisticated ideas that it's presenting, like Ender's Game. Because it has a simple idea at its heart, a simple storyline, the manner in which you can explore that storyline is more sophisticated. So that's really what's going on here. I think you have a movie like Star Wars, which is a simple idea, explored in a sophisticated manner, contrasted with Ender's Game, which has a very sophisticated core, but is explored in a simplified manner. And I just didn't find the Ender's Game scenario rewarding. Now, there were some good moments, and I would actually compare Ender's Game to when you go on a theme park ride. The really ornate ones when they try and create their own worlds, and you kind of are told an abbreviated story while you're standing on line, and then you get to 3 minutes of excitement. That's a little bit what I think this is closer to. So I had a good time, I had good moments, but at the end of the day, Ender's Game just couldn't win the battle for my heart. So that's what I think of the film. I don't even know if I'd want to see a sequel. I'm not that, my interest isn't entirely piqued, and I feel it would have the same problems, because Ender's Game to me isn't a complete storytelling experience. So that's my thoughts on it. I'd be curious to hear what everybody here thinks. If you've read the novel, what do you think of the translation? If you haven't read the novel, were you also inspired to maybe go check it out? And do you think the ride comparison is good? And what do you think of it compared to Star Wars? Why do you think one works and one doesn't? Write your thoughts down below. Thank you for tuning into my review, and you can check out some other episodes right now.